Hello, welcome, and Andoran Atishan Elvhen. Welcome to our Dragon Age special here at the Transmissions. Um, Before we introduce the story and our players, let me first provide a content warning, one which is really important for today's story in particular. Dragon Age is a setting which has some dark and difficult themes, not only with some grisly horror, but also in its political and cultural tensions. There are power imbalances throughout the lands of Thedas, and our story today is exploring one of the biggest gulfs in power within this setting. The treatment of the Elven people, and the resulting loss in culture at the hands of the Exalted Marches, which were perpetrated by the Chantry. After this bloody conflict, the culture, buildings, and language were lost to the Elven. Rest assured, we will be as respectful and considerate as possible while we explore this topic, and we have discussed our lines and veils prior to today's session. We can check in with each other, but we want you to also be mindful of your own comfort levels. As important as this story is to voice, your happiness and your comfort should be paramount, and as such, we would never judge if you need to step away at any point. Now, my delightful players, can you please introduce who you are and who you will be playing? If we can start with Andre.
Hi, I'm Andre. Been playing for a very long time, never on stream. So this is my first. I've been also playing Dragon Age for a very long time. And I will be playing Jovik, dwarf guardian. Too old for this, but also very interested. That's all.
All right. Next is Taryn.
Hi, everyone. I'm Torin, or Torin Talks Creativity. I go by she, they pronouns. Today, though, I will be playing Farron Lynn, who goes by they, them for the most part, and is a Dalish elf mage? Necromancer? We're gonna be good. Thinking little spooky vibes for this one, and I'm very excited. As far as Dragon Age, I have read everything about it. I have played the games multiple times, and I have a bit of a problem. But I don't find it to be a problem. It's only it is if you admit it, and I'm not going to do that. So yeah, I'm very excited to play this game. That's me.
Next is Kay.
Hi everyone, this is Kay Phoenix, or Kay on the internet. I go by they, them pronouns. Today I will be playing Harlan, our city elf bard. Charming little bloke. Not at all Twinkie, what are you talking about? Loves to irritate his lovely dwarf companion. Let's see, I have been playing Dragon Age for a long time. Streaming for last couple of years, so I have a little experience with it if you've seen me on other channels before. Yeah, this is also my Dragon Age Anonymous group where we all talk about the problem we have with Dragon Age. So, hi, my name's Kay. I have a problem. And that's me.
Excellent.
Hi everyone. My name is Satan or Alyssa Vamp on the internet, and I go by any pronoun. And today I'll be playing Darathan, who is our Dalish shadow rogue elf. He's just here for a good time, but also a long time, and he has chill vibes. You've also probably have seen me here playing all the other Dragon Age games on this channel. I will still make mistakes. I don't remember anything, but I love it. That's it.
Excellent. And last, Eva.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aoife. I use she, her pronouns, and so does my character, Rian, who will be a Dalish elf, is here for a long time, not a good time, and does not have chill vibes.
Immaculate.
We make a great team.
Yeah. So this is our group. I am the storyteller. I am Emma, or Hummel on the internet. I use they, them pronouns, and I GM many things, but it seems mostly Dragon Age. This is my one true love. So, it is known that the elves were once the dominant race in the lands of Thedas. They had vast civilizations built using nature and their extensive magical knowledge. The empire of Elvenon would fall 3,000 years ago, and the crowning jewel of Arlathan City would disappear and crumble to ruin. The hand that led this ruination was the Tevinter Imperium, a human civilization, plundering all the elves had and enslaving those who survived. Needless to say, the Elvhen lost their cultural heritage and identity. After the prophetess Andraste led a rebellion against Tevinter, it would allow the enslaved elves to see a way out of their toil, and they managed to break free of Tevinter and once again build a society of their own in the Dales. At the end of what is called the Long Walk, Halam Sharal became their sanctuary, a city named using the Elven language, meaning end of the journey. Their peace would last a further 3 centuries, before once again the human chantry would lead the charge of another exalted march, which wiped out whatever culture they had managed to develop. Since this time, the Elven people have separated into 2 distinct groups as we know them today. There are the city elves, who live in the human settlements in impoverished areas known as alienages. Many of these adapt to human customs and are detached from Elven culture for the most part. The second group are known as the Dalish. They lead nomadic lives, travelling in their Aravel caravans and doing what they can to seek out lost Elven culture and keep it alive. The Dalish do not ever wish to submit to human rule again, as their ancestors were forced to. Our story is following a group of 3 Dalish elves and 2 allies. A desire to seek that which is lost runs through the heart of this group, and whether it is in the hand of fate or the spirit of the lost that guides them, a path is slowly being formed before them. We tune in now to the first of our characters, Farron Lynn. Please, can you describe what you look like, where you are, and what you are doing?
Farron Lynn, I think the first thing that people would see about them is just probably not what you would normally think of a Dalish necessarily. Usually it's like leather armor and greenery and earth tones. For Farron Lynn, it's actually mostly black and um, long draping capes and a little bit of a ghoulish kind of appearance. And they have darker, shorter hair that kind of frames around their face and very sharp eyes. And if anyone recognizes the Valisline of Falendin. So a bit of a different, I think, what would be normally like probably typical, if you will. As far as what they are doing and where you find them, this is typical of them. I think they are probably alone out in the middle of the woods. It is early morning, like barely any light, probably just the stars. And I think they're just sitting very quietly and with their eyes closed. They have like darker kind of shadows around their eyes. And it's almost like starlight as well on their lids too. And they're quietly sitting at the moment, very serenely, very peacefully. However, they have absolutely torn through the Fade. They are a mage. And so every night, I think they're not a dreamer, not in the way that we think of in Dragon Age, but I think they would really like to be. And so I think that's probably how they spend most of their time.
As you close your eyes, when you drift from this world, a material world, a physical world, and enter into the land of spirit, of dreams, of all of the other possibilities. When your eyes open to this other reality, where do you think you are as you enter into this dream?
So we've seen the Fade, if you played the games or anything, you've seen the Fade kind of green and dark and other things too, like in the very beginning, very brown and creepy. Honestly, I think when Farron Lynn shows up in the Fade, they show up almost exactly how they are, but then around them, it's almost like Twilight instead. And so it takes on like this darker hue with purple and um, little floating motes of light. And as far as where, honestly, I think it's a journey for them every single time. I don't think there's ever a specific thought in their head of like, I want to go here. I think they just want to see as much of it as they possibly can. And I think they've been on a mission for a long time to see how they actually can shape it. Because you always hear about spirits and the fade and magic being something that we shape and work with. And so I think every time they drop into the fade, they're always wondering, how can I morph this a little bit? So I think for today, they probably find themselves, I would say there's even maybe bits, not necessarily of the library, but there's definitely like, this used to be a home. So there's probably like a chair floating and, plates
Yeah.
and stuff floating over there.
Yeah, it's an interesting sensation for you because when you are here, you get that sensation of home as a concept. It is a concept that we can feel inside of ourselves. We know when we are home. So it is a feeling. And you feel that just now. And yet there is stone beneath your feet. There is furniture, wooden furniture. It seems humble, but there is walls. You can see on one of them that is mostly whole, a painting, it looks like. And this is not something that you and your people identify as homes. These static places that remain in one place, that have a foundation, that have a roof over their head in this sense, even though here where you are, there is no roof.
Yeah.
This is not what your elven physical self would see as a home, and yet the sensation remains. You will also become aware in a corner there is a space that gives you that sense of shared home, shared dwelling. There is a spirit here that you have come to be very familiar with. Could you please describe that spirit?
Yes, I can. Sorry, that wasn't her. That wasn't them. That was me. Sorry. I think taking all this in, like looking around, and absolutely want to look around as well for just markers of who they were, like who, was this an actual place for someone, and were they human, were they surfacers, who were they?
Yeah.
But I think because Farron Lynn, I'm not Fallon, don't worry about that. Farron Lynn, I think because they're starting to feel this like sensation of who is this, and starting to ask questions kind of at a a speedy pace in their mind, their friend shows up, and knowing that spark is there, they probably feel it a little bit, like gets a little excited, like, oh my love, where are you, darling? And we'll go look, and I think the spirit, as spirits are in later on, they're kind of more amorphous, balls of light, right? I think this even has, like, the spirit even has kind of a curled long tail a little bit, maybe little pointy ears. And they are a spirit of curiosity, my best friend. And just show up around them, and just get it, probably like underneath something, I would imagine. Just
Yeah.
hanging out, like waiting to see if I would find them.
Yeah. And they're resting on something on the floor that could have at one point been a pet's bed, perhaps. It's definitely not big enough to have been a bed for a person. And it will uncoil itself and rise up a little in front of you. And there is that increase in its glow that gives a warmth. And it is that sort of friendliness that you felt when you first encountered them.
Mm-hmm.
How are you?
Oh, I'm well, and I think she kind of like helps them rise up a little bit. And you know, some cats like it when you go in their face a little bit, you know, just a little bit. Yeah.
Like this one is currently doing right now.
Yes.
And you
well.
you feel it without feeling it. There is that sensation, that point of contact. The affection shared when you make physical contact with someone or something that you love.
Mm-hmm. My little one, what have you found here? And I think we'll just kind of, carry them. Like, I think that probably not with many people. They're not, Farron Lynn is not very affectionate. Probably wants to be, but like does not know how. But with the spirit of curiosity, has been comfortable enough to ask questions of curiosity because they both share that, and learned how curiosity likes to be carted and like helped along, and I think they kind of breached that barrier together.
You feel a sensation rather than with words of a door opening, and although the physicality in front of you, it likely was a wall or a door if this was an actual place. It is currently just an empty space. But you feel it opening in front of you at the question of what it has found. And it starts to try to lead you in a way whilst also being held.
Okay. I think just no question about that. Like immediate yes. And Farron Lynn will also just kind of run their hands along as well. And if you'll allow me, I don't know if there's any historical things to see here that Farron Lynn might have encountered somewhere else.
Sure.
Or seeing who's on the portrait.
Yeah. What skill do you feel you were trying to employ here?
Historical lore, maybe? Or investigation?
I feel
or even arcane lore?
Yeah, investigation might work here.
Okay. Also, let me just read something real quick, because I may have taken master lore talent.
Oh. We
Let
love
me
to
just
see it.
double check what this says. Pick any two and make this test focused. You can re-roll a failed test, but you must keep the second one. Okay, that's what it is. All right. Investigation.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Oh, can I roll again?
Yeah.
I mean, that's maybe not be a fail, but I don't know if that jives. Okay.
You'd get something. Yeah. Less so about it being failing. You would get something, but higher numbers get you more.
15.
15. Okay. It's an interesting thing. You feel a sense of kinship in a way that is less so that which you feel with your sibling and more so what you feel with your clan. It is kinship that is greater, more extended than direct blood family. And you're not really sure why you would feel it in this place, given that you're not, as far as you're aware, related to anyone that would be living in a house like this. And yet, that sensation is very present, and there are little markers in the designs of the beams of wood that frame where this door would be, in the stylistic choices of the painting that's on the wall. It doesn't seem to be anything that you have seen in a human settlement. So it does have markers of elven design, not any that you necessarily could directly identify, but you feel the connection there.
Gotcha.
And it feels old. This was a home. There was an elf or elves who seems to live here. But there is equally a sense of freedom and ownership of the land that is not common with modern elves.
Right. I think Farron just I almost kind of forms like a little bone, like a little metacarpal, and knowing it's not real, but I think it makes her feel a little bit better and just tries to capture that feeling of safety and ownership, and then will allow her curiosity spirit to lead her away. Also, just for the record, the cat is purring in the mic, and I'm just gonna take that's the curiosity spirit, and
Is
they're
he?
happy.
Oh,
Yeah, I can hear it a little bit. I was like, it's gonna take
everyone
that spirit.
can hear
Okay,
you,
thanks, buddy.
Loki. Yeah.
Loki.
Yes. Your spirit is absolutely purring.
Yay!
When you step outside and you form this bone to try and capture this memory here, you feel the bone thrumming in a way as if it is capturing audio in a way, capturing sound. Not just that of a cat purring. But you hear a song being sung. And maybe every 3 or 4 words, maybe every 5, you pick out words that you would recognize. But there is a number of words that you don't recognize. You know that they're Elvhen, they follow the pattern, there is Elvhen words in there. It's certainly not trade tongue. But you feel in your heart it is a song that is loving with a hint of sadness in it.
We'll go back to curiosity and just kind of hold them closer together, you know, the bone and curiosity, and just, do you know this?
I think I remembered it once.
Did you sing it?
I think it was sung to me.
It's lovely. And I will attempt to follow the melody of it.
Yeah, you're able to kind of hum it. There's a pattern to it that you're able to start recognizing. And I think if you could roll, technically it's something a little more akin to geography or geographical recognition. So it's somewhere in the cunning.
Okay, no, it's not the same. I have cryptography.
Cartography, I would allow it.
Okay.
It is essentially mapping out where you are. It's just this really weird mind-bendy way of mapping something in the fade that has a physicality to it and yet entirely not.
Yeah, and maybe like trying to see what physical manifestation maps to it. 14?
Yeah. As you look around, there are shapes in the distance. They feel very far away and yet close enough where you could almost reach out to touch them in parts. It's a strange sensation because that familiarity and sense of home feels close and inside of you, and yet there's still this great distance, this expanse, and you can see to one side of you large jagged peaks and a deep rich forest, a forest that feels like it goes so deep it is as if it is going underground, below ground level. And you feel like, by all intents and purposes, the shapes are things that you would recognize.
Yeah.
They are, you assume, the Frostbat Mountains. They feel larger, but those are shapes that you recognize. And the forest is deeper. Deep forests in relation to those mountains, you would think, somewhere in the Dales. But this is deeper, it is darker, it feels further away. And you know that there is a place very, very far to the south that very few travel for various reasons. There are many Dalish people who are slightly superstitious of going too far south in the Emerald Graves. The place holds the memories and the spirits of your lost and forgotten. So to that end, it's almost in what humans might recognize as being haunted.
Mm-hmm.
It is a place of deep sadness. But it has a significance to your people even still.
Honestly, I'm not saying this is good, but I think Farrelyn kind of smiles a little bit just at the thought of all of basically their hyperfixations coming together.
Yeah.
Lore and death rites and history and what can we learn? That curiosity, I think both of them just burn brighter. Just a little bit brighter. Yeah.
You feel yourself almost taking up more space here. Having a little more weight to your feet. You can really feel the stone underneath you because you are burning a little brighter here. And you can see in this deep depth that feels so far away the glint of almost something shining in sunlight. Low hanging sunlight. And then curiosity will say, that's the song.
The song?
The song is there.
Do you want to go?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And you feel curiosity is going to rise up and swirl almost like around your neck in a way that animals might replicate in a way. It does not have a physical form, and so it just snakes its way around you and settles at your chest and your shoulders.
And I think honestly, even if it wakes them up, I think they're just gonna start walking straight towards it and just ledge off.
Mm-hmm. You feel a direction, and then you will wake.
Yep. Just wakes with almost excitement rather than anything else, and just a little sadness too that they're not still there.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, with waking, with the daytime, with the sun high in the sky, we are going to come to our next character, Rianne. Can you please describe who you are, what you look like, and what you are doing?
Rianne is part of the same clan as Farin Lin, as we've just met. But she is not asleep. She is working. As she walks through the forest, someone would see a tall, very pale, white-haired elf. They would see, of course, the great bow of Andrew Will, the Valas Lin on her face, reflecting that she venerates the great huntress herself. And she is dressed in rather form-fitting dark forest green. She's not armed, and yet she is hunting.
As you walk through this land with the familiar ground beneath your feet, you understand the way to move through this place and occupy it soundlessly. As you do, what quarry is in your sight? What are you hunting?
It's not in her sight yet, but she is following the trail of a stag, not a hollow, just a very handsome stag that she did see a couple of weeks ago on one of her earlier hunts, but it just slipped past her. So she's back again to track this fine, handsome young thing down.
As you move through this space, and I'd like to think that every time you come out here, not just when you're hunting, but just how to exist in this space, in these forests with the animals, you commune in a way with Andruil. Did you offer any prayer to her before setting off?
Of course. Rian follows the Virtanadal, the way of the three trees. So she always offers up a little prayer to Randaruil before starting her wandering into the forest.
Would you like to speak it as she did, if you have it beside you?
Well, today the way is Vir Adhelan, the way of the forest. Today, she is thinking about accepting the gifts of the huntress, accepting the gifts of the woods with mindfulness, communing with the animals. Not all of them are prey, many are friends. So yeah, that's the tenet she's living by today.
Could you please roll for me cultural lore? It's on your character sheet. If you click the word cultural lore, it should roll with your focus.
Ooh.
Incredible.
19.
A 19 with 5 stump points. Now, stump points are what comes up on your dragon dice. Usually it tells you you get a little bit extra something. Sometimes in fighting it could be more damage. It could be that things are extra impressive. With this, I think as you meditated in the morning, as you reflected on which of the ways you were going to follow, the way of the forest, there's a calmness that will often come over you when you are doing so. And this time, and it happens when you know your day and your actions have been blessed, you felt a breeze around you, refreshing, but not too cold. And just the sounds of the forest, all of it was aware to you. You know that she walks the path with you today. If you are enacting the ways of the forest or hunting, I'm going to allow you a bonus when you do so. How do you feel Rianne's beliefs are when it comes to the Eveners, the Elven gods? Many obviously believe that they were shut off by the acts of the terrible Fenhorel, that they no longer speak to the people and that they aren't having an impact on your life. There are those, obviously, that still feel their presence and believe that you're being watched, even still. Where does Rianne sit with that?
Rianne is very much in the second category. She has always grown up venerating the Elvenan and Andruil in particular. So it's never really occurred to her to question her beliefs. Life is good for her, following the way and the tenets of Andruil. So she is calm, she is happy, she feels blessed, and the way is set in front of her.
Yeah. Sitting with that thought, knowing that she walks the path with you, that your actions, both by hand and by bow, are by her blessing, just ahead of you. You can see the movement. At first it's shielded slightly by the foliage of the forest, but you can see the colours of this stag. Far enough away that you don't believe you will have been seen, but close enough now for you to perhaps act upon your hunt. What do you do?
As Rian catches sight of the stag ahead, she will crouch and then leap upwards. As she is leaping, she's going to shift into a falcon and let a breeze lift her up and over towards that stag.
You can feel the wind beneath you, wind beneath your wings. And you know how to glide through it. You know how to adjust yourself to go through and above branches, up into the trees, following this stag. It will startle slightly, knowing that there is something moving. Its muscles become tense. It is looking for something that is perhaps on the ground, and not necessarily something from above right now. It starts to move regardless, assuming that there may be some hunter in the woods. As it starts to run, you will be following. What do you think you use for your hunting in this form?
This form is more of a scouting form or a way to get close from an unusual direction. So she will, in her current, she's a red-tailed hawk. She is hovering above that stag, just letting that breeze keep her still on the currents. But at any point, she could drop out of that form right down on top of her prey.
Incredible. What I'm going to ask for, just to see how successful and how smooth we are, I'm going to ask for a primal magic roll here. It is the form of magic that you attach yourself the most to, especially when in this sort of form with yourself. And just to allow you to use the instincts of this bird of prey. Incredible. Absolutely smash it with a roll with an 18 and 3 stump points. It doesn't always happen. It's not always so present in your mind. You have used this magic often. You have hunted this way often. But there are some days where you know you are not alone, in a sense. You have the weight of your goddess behind you, filling your very bones, guiding your way, and everything that you need to happen is going right. Picking up the winds just at the correct moment, being able to be out of sight from this stag, and lining yourself up perfectly to enact your plan. Please describe for me what happens next.
The stag will pick its way into a clearing, which is perfect for Falcon Rian because it is a clear line of sight to the ground. So she will begin to patiently position herself, negotiating with the breeze, cocking her head, making sure those eyes are fixed downwards on that stag. And when she reads that the wind is just right, when she reads that that stag is just in the right place, she's going to drop out of falcon form straight back to her elf form and drop, heels first, right on the back of that stag's neck.
It is smooth and clean, and you feel as elegant and weightless almost as a bird of prey as you were dropping. The thing that is weighing you down is not gravity itself or the physical form that you are. It is sheer intention that is lowering you. And as you land, you are able to catch your prey. The hunt is... it's just what it needed to be. And in that moment, given the prayer that you offered up and the beliefs that you hold as a devotee of Andruil, that the stag is offering itself willingly to you as an offering from the forest to yourself and the people. They will be well fed tonight.
Masiranis, Andrew will thank you. And she'll say the same to her stag.
Mm-hmm. And with some effort, you will be able to take the stag, or at least signify where it is, and have some people come to offer some assistance and bring it back as an offering. You feel accomplished today. The clan are, needless to say, very thankful for this. Bellies will be full, and hearts will be happy tonight. We're going to shift on to our final Dalish elf, Dirathen. Can you please describe to us who you are and what you look like, where you are, and what you are doing?
We see Dirathen. Right now he's cloaked, but if you were to see him without with his face in full light, you would see a visage that's, if not for certain mannerisms and maybe scars and the different Valicines, very much identical to Farron Lynn's. He has these piercing amber eyes, a light tan on his skin from being out in the sun often, dark hair that is pulled back, but still some of it falls around his face. And currently he is cloaked up, scarf up. He is making his way in the shadows through a nearby human town or settlement. He does this often. He trades for his group. He does believe that while they are better separated from most of society, that there are still things that they will need to survive, that the world has changed, and sometimes despite their people seeking out of the past to build up their cultural histories, that they still need to look forward to the future and adapt. And unfortunately, right now, that means interacting with humans and other settlements outside of their clan. But he kind of finds it as a bit of a game of hide and seek. Sometimes reminds him of when he was young, and his sister would him and his sister would play. It gives him kind of that same rush of like childish wonder, and we see him like stalking through this small city or small town in the shadows. We see a bird kind of coming above head that then lands on an outstretched arm, and he looks at this beautiful black feathered raven that with this kind of like these colorful sheens whenever the moonlight hits the feathers of this bird. And we see like the bird kind of drop a little bauble in his hand. And he just says, "Good job, Dami," which is little blade in Elvhen. And then we just see him settle and almost become one with the shadow as he lets the last of the nightlife kind of pass him by. And he opens his ears. So he sends a prayer out to Dear Thamen. We see that he has the Valisling of Dear Thamen. And sends a prayer to him to keep him in the shadows, uncloud his eyes, and open his ears for all the secrets that others try to keep hidden. And he sits and waits and listens. And while his job for the clan here is done, he likes to pick up a few extra things for himself.
What sort of things do you think you currently have? What were you here to trade for?
I think a lot of it would be maybe materials that are kind of hard to find out in the wild, or certain additions to food. A lot of the time, he also goes in for knowledge, for secret, to see and try to prevent any attacks or any unwanted confrontations between his clan and any nearby settlements. Or if they do need to pass by soon, he tends to like be like warn people like, hey, we're gonna be close by. You don't mess with us, we don't mess with you.
Yeah. I think there is an item that you see at one of the stalls on the market, which just sells tchotchkes, essentially. It is items of curiosity that they've maybe taken in from traders, things that they've been able to buy from other people, things that have been found. And for the most part, they are human objects. There is a couple of them that seem to be quite old as well. There's one that has a genuine relic of Andraste, you know, very silly things. But there's one that you would recognize as a small statuette, and it just is labeled as owl statue. And it's an owl with its wings like straight out like this, and it's not very big, but you know the form that is, and that actually that is an object or relic that is meant to be representative of Falun Din, who is often shown to be an owl. It is perhaps something where, rather than accepting coin all of the time, and maybe your coin was already spent, you had to give up an object that this person would see as equally significant, a trade of items rather than money. What do you think you may have traded with it for?
Instead of trading, could I try my hand at stealing?
Yes. How would you set this up for theft?
I think as he locks in on this item, and there's a few emotions of like, oh, that shouldn't be there, that belongs to us, but also
Sure.
My sister would really like this. My
Yeah.
sibling would really like this.
Also, just to label it owl statuette feels, you know.
Also, this is
very
rude.
derivative.
That's
Yeah.
not just an owl. Do you know who that is? I think he kind of locks in, and we see him with his companion on his arm, and they kind of look at each other. And he just gives him a nod, and the bird kind of nods back like they know what they're doing. They probably don't, but they know. And
Ravens are very smart.
they are. So, and he says, "Okay, let's try tactic number 6." And he sends out Dummy, and what he does, he has Dummy kind of cause a bit of a ruckus at times, and as a distraction before he comes in to try and take this object, as the shopkeep is trying to deal with this rowdy bird.
Okay. Few things. First of all, can you please roll me a cultural lore roll?
I have that.
Hard to say. This is to see if your prayers at the start of your day to Dirthaman were effective. They incredibly were. 18 with 6 stun points. You feel, as you often do when you offer up prayers, that you're convinced connect to your deity of choice. There is a coolness, some might describe it as cold, that will settle around you and through you, but it is a cold that is comforting to you because it's the cold of the dark and of shadows. It is a place where you feel comfortable. It is shrouding you in a way, and in this moment, not only because you are trying to engage in that which your god oversees, but in that what you were trying to do is retrieve an item so significant to his twin. So, what we're going to do now is I would like a stealth roll from you, and we're wrapping into the success of this, also the success of Dami being able to distract. And I'm going to allow you to roll twice and take the highest, as you are currently blessed by Dorthamen.
17.
Incredible. So, please describe to us what unfolds.
So as they kind of nod to each other with this plan, he kind of gives Dami a little boost as they hop from the top of one building to the second the rafts of the second floor to another building, and then near where this shopkeep is. Is it like a outside type of shop, like a market?
Like a market stall, yeah.
Yeah. I think you see the raven start kind of jumping on top of where this fabric is to cover them from the sun of during the daytime, making a few bumps and pieces. And then as they're going over one area to investigate, we see Dummy then go to the other side and start almost very cat-like. They land on one of the tables away from where not Farron, the Falindin statue is, and almost very cat-like starts kind of just shoving things over with their beak, and much like you would any small animal that has, well, ravens are pretty big. Any animal that has larger wingspan, you don't want them around a lot of things where they could knock over. So as they're knocking things over, they start like flapping their wings, knocking more things over, hovering around the shopkeep as they're trying to swipe them away. And Dorathan takes this opportunity to very quietly just sneak behind and just pass by like he's just someone passing by while this is happening. Takes the statuette, and then the shopkeep would just hear out their dealers like, damn, that's a rowdy bird. Just walks away.
Yes, the plan is enacted smoothly and you feel accomplished. There's a comfort you feel, and you pick it up and put it close to your person, an offering to perhaps bring back to the clan.
He just kind of eventually, once they're out of sight, without needing to look, kind of puts an arm out, and we see the raven kind of land. And as he's looking at the owl statue with one hand, and just says, this is gonna make our siblings very, very happy, as if talking to their thumb indirectly.
Yeah. And you hear that sort of rattling purr that ravens can give, and then it just goes, rowdy bird.
You sure are, little ones. Just kind of start scratching their little chin.
Very good. We remain in a settlement. We remain where there are many people of all sorts of walks of life. There is diversity to be had in the cities, even if it is not all equal. And come to Harlan. Please, can you describe to us who you are and what you look like, where you are, and what you are doing?
So, Harlan is a city elf by birth, born in the alienage in Val Royale, which is very, very large. He found when he was younger that he had a talent for singing, and so was recruited by one of the bards to train and learn music and writing and reading and spying. So he is a bard by trade. He left his home to go out on his own adventure and whatnot. He is currently sitting in a tavern. His usual traveling partner is not with him at the moment. So Harlan is tucked away in a little corner with sheets of paper all over the place and an open journal, and he is writing with his handy quill. Um, there's some music you can see on one sheet of paper, and then in his journal, it looks like maybe there's lyrics or something. It's totally not code. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mm.
Um, absolutely nothing to do with, you know, what he is observing or not observing, as he sits there and he's humming to himself. You'll occasionally hear him sing out like a line of lyrics as he's like thumbing through like his journal. There is an empty bottle of wine, a full bottle of wine, a goblet, and you know, a little bit of royal elf fruit burning in a little dish, you know, and
Yep.
there's this cloud about him, and he's totally not high at all. I don't know what you are talking about. He is on the taller side for an elf, but not like extravagantly tall. He's
Yeah.
about, you know, on the tallest end, but still average. He has brown hair that is shoulder length and kind of choppy and tousled. Not bedroom tousled, but you know, like it's a little wild. From him running his hands through his hair all the time. He has silver brown eyes, very full lips. He could be described as pretty. Um, he's wearing currently a dark green linen tunic that's trimmed in like a bronze colored thread. It's not actually bronze, but it's meant to look more on the higher end, because you know he is from Orlais, and you know he totally didn't steal this from Chevalier. I don't know what you're talking about. He has this kind of golden capelet on that's got a clasp on it. He's not currently wearing his lute. He has that off and it's sitting on a chair beside him. He's not currently playing because he's writing. He has his bow and his arrow are tucked into the corner, because he did learn archery, because you know you have to have a trade. You know, daggers are nice and you know flashy and all that, but when you're traveling sometimes there's you don't want anything to get too close to you to make sure you're in dagger range, so he learned how to shoot. um and so yeah, that is Harlan, busy away, totally not paying attention to his surroundings. Being a bard.
I'd like to think that your eyes, oftentimes when you are really focused on something, especially if you are inebriated, who me no,
Drunk? What?
very much focused on what you're doing. Everything else around you is in that soft focus right now. There is the sound of another bard playing. This the sound of revelry. This is a place that has rooms for people to stay as well. And when your eyes pull into a sharper focus to something else, it is because there is a child stood at your table watching what you're doing. Young girl. She has like bright red hair. It's almost like red rather than ginger. Freckles all over her face, bright green eyes, stood staring at what you were doing and then up at you and then what you were doing and then up at you, and asks in an accent that you presume to be Ferelden. Perhaps her family are here staying overnight and she's up past her bedtime. What you doing?
He'll look up and give her a bright smile. Well, hello, Cher. Just writing a bit of music. What are you doing out of bed at this hour?
I'm allowed to be up.
Oh?
Mm-hmm.
Are you the tavern keep's daughter? Are you working?
No, I don't work. That's silly.
Well, pretty young thing such as yourself. You could do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. My mom and my dad and my brother are over there, and we are staying here. And I am looking around.
Curious little thing, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. What kind of music do you play?
Oh, all kinds of music. The common type that you could see in the taverns, and then I have a few pieces of my own that I like. to play. I won't bother that gentleman right now who's currently playing.
He's not very good.
Yes, well, I'm sure he won't be making a lot of money tonight, but that is not for me. You know, I'm not going to show him up though. That's rude.
But if he's playing music badly, that is rude.
Well, I'm sure someone will tell him off. Doesn't need to be me though. I don't need that kind of confrontation.
Should I tell him?
Well, I think maybe your pa should be the one to tell him. Or maybe your ma. That might be better.
Okay. Will you play music if he stops?
Oh, well, sure. I wouldn't want there to be a lull in the entertainment.
Okay. What's your name?
Harlan, and what's your name, Cher?
Bryony.
Bryony. Such a beautiful name to go with such strawberry beautiful hair.
Thank you. I'm gonna go tell my mum now. She just turns around and scuttles off in a way that only small children can do. She goes and you can see the very animated explaining of something to a family that look very like her. You see a look of perhaps horror on her mother's face, and then her father seems to be scolding her and telling her that she was meant to be in bed a couple of hours ago. And marches her and she gets taken upstairs.
He's trying to hide his smile in his goblet as he's drinking down some wine and be like, I had nothing to do with that.
The mother is going to look over at you and give that apologetic look that parents do when their children have been a little boisterous.
I'll just cock his head to the side.
Very good. Needless to say, that bard is not told that he is slightly out of tune. You do not get to play this evening, but perhaps soon in the future you will. As we transition away from that, we come to our last character, Jovic. Can you describe who you are and what you look like, where you are, and what you are doing?
Well, so Jovic is a dwarf. His story is patched in many ways. So he came from Osmar, but he has been living topside for a very long time. He has ginger or auburn hair and beard. His hairline is receding violently. He keeps his beard in tangles that he also likes to call braids, and with beads and all sort of rings around it. He is in the same settlement, fresh off the company of Arlen. He is going to visit someone in a tannery close by. He is rather nervous, which does not seem appropriate for a man of his age or semblance. He seems very poised, although not necessarily in a noble way, but in a very ruggish way. He is not someone who is easily perturbed. His skin is wrinkled and old. His eyes are beady and yellowish. He has a very tight face, and he just approaches this tannery and looks for someone in specific.
Yeah. As you approach, it is end of a working day. There are people still present and inside. There's some tidying and cleaning happening. You can hear some conversation from a couple of the workers. And pulling into our field of view inside the building and stood by one of the windows, the light from inside illuminating them, we can see a female dwarf, unaware of your presence right now. Can you describe her to us?
She has a strange resemblance to him, as if she was removed from his family 3 degrees too little. She has the same yellowish eyes, the same auburn hair, and that's mostly where the semblance stops. Everything else is very much her own. She's short hair, entangled in curls, probably focused on something. Her skin is a little brown, not necessarily brown, but like golden.
More tan. Yeah. Now, do you feel, Drovik, you would approach and try
Yes.
to enter, or would you wait for her to leave?
No, immediately approach. I don't want to wait. I have to run back to Arlen as fast as I can, because this is not comfortable for him at all.
No.
So I would approach the window, not enter the place, and almost stuttering, I would say, "Hi, lass. My view."
There's a moment where you can tell a person has recognized a sound. Pausing what she's doing, a frown will pass by her expression. She'll slowly look out of the window, letting her eyes come to the same conclusion that her ears have of who is stood outside of this building. The frown will deepen for a moment. What are you doing here?
Oh, well, me and Arlen were passing by, and I wanted to come and give you some, just to see how you were, and maybe leave you some coin to help with your life in general, you know.
I don't need your coin. And she's interrupted slightly by the sound of what you presume to be a colleague who's like, "Oh, who's that at the window?" and comes over in a way that you would, friendly, who are you speaking to? She holds up a hand to cut them off. I'm gonna go now. I'll see you tomorrow. And she takes off her apron and she leaves so that she is outside with you and away from her colleagues. I wasn't expecting you.
Oh, well, I don't really have a way of messaging you beforehand coming here, so.
There's ravens.
And I am, well, probably, yes, there are, but I'm not, Well, I didn't know I had to say anything. Look, does the smell of the tannery is really strong? Is it bad for you?
I'm fine. It's no worse than the smell that a smithy has to put up with.
Well, okay. It's just a shame you have to. Well,
I do what I have to make ends meet.
Of course. It's not your fault. Not at all. Look, I don't want to take much of your time, and I see
you never
that.
do.
Right. So I see you're well.
I am.
Yeah. You've been eating well, and.
Yes, I've been eating well.
Right.
Are you well?
I'm fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Um, let me. He takes the small pouch, money already counted. Please take this. It's but 20 coins just to help you a little. You know, a father's will, a father's gift, nothing more.
And you can see she's hesitating over what she wants to do in this moment. You can imagine throughout the years, her reactions have varied slightly. Sometimes she would refuse the offerings of you. One time, when she was younger, even threw it back at you. Gave you a bruise. Sometimes she accepts. Today, you see the variety of options passing by her, but she will take it.
This makes me mighty glad. Well, I will now probably go on another travel that Arlen has came up with. Yes.
Stay safe.
Oh, I don't think there's anything in this world that can hurt me at this point. I cursed to live above ground for the rest of this century, at least. I'm very glad to see you, and please stay safe. Eat your vegetables, and don't. I'm sorry. Well, is there? I actually have one thing to ask you. Is there someone in your life that you could call a companion or someone to take care of you?
Yes, I do.
Oh, that's wonderful. I would very much like to meet that person if you are at all interested in that, or maybe not. I understand completely.
Sure. Next time you come around, we can.
Perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Yes.
It would be nice to see you more often.
Oh, really? Oh, well, this is good. I will try to be more often around. Sure. Well, I will go now. I've taken too much of your time. So I will tell Arling that we have to come back here very soon. And do you need more money or anything really that I can help you with?
No. We're fine. I have everything I need.
It takes a boulder off my heart to hear that. Well, please stay safe, and I love you. Bye. And he runs away.
And she stands and watches you run away. A sigh. A part of her hopes that she will see you again soon. The other part maybe feels she knows better and assumes it might be some time.
Once he gets to a corner, safe from view, nugs balls. I should be better at this. He takes out his pipe, puts some fruit in there.
Yep.
Harlan.
To Harlan. We're going to transition to a little bit into the future, maybe a few days. Darathin, you are back with the clan after your travels and trading, and I think you maybe have 2 people accompanying you.
Mm-hmm.
More so that one of them is interested in perhaps asking permission of the clan to travel for a little bit, just to hear some tales. Perhaps bring some music to the camp. You're 50-50 on whether that'll be allowed, but you've agreed to at least show him the way.
I'll
And
promise you to show you the way. I can't promise
Yeah.
too much else.
Yeah. And within the camp's grounds, there is a large campfire with a larger stew pot on top of it, cooking up enough food for the camp to come and get themselves a bowl, get a loaf of bread. People are well fed tonight. We have our other Dalish there also. I think the first conversation that will lead to, hopefully, a full conversation with the whole group is, Farnlin, when you return to the clan, you've had this impression. To call it a vision is maybe not quite correct, because it wasn't just about sight, it was about feeling about this place to the south. And now that your sibling is back, it's maybe something that you want to discuss with him. We will have a brief conversation between the siblings before we pull everybody else into the scene.
Whenever their brother gets there, I think their brother is probably one of the only mortal people that really get the excitement of Farron Lynn. You can probably see it if you watch them long enough, but they kind of get the full brunt of, you won't believe what I just found. That kind of energy of just and runs up to him, Lathaline.
Hi.
I
Just
have
holds their shoulder. Yes.
and like I think even like grabs your like shirt or the cloak a little bit.
He knows
and
what this means. This means info dump time.
It was beautiful. There was a home, and there was a home, and there were plates, and then there was a portrait, and it was Elvhen, but it wasn't any time soon. It was and like I think you can kind of tell Farron is having a hard time actually articulating, especially translating it from them there to here. Yeah.
Was it a time long past, coming soon?
And we'll start kind of like and start singing and humming and saying the words that they actually, it's like when you start learning a new language, they're having a hard time forming it correctly. They're using sounds from now, so it doesn't quite sound correct as far as the Elven that they heard. And they told me we go south. There's a bright light in the south. It's deep underground, and but there's questions to be answered, and near the Frostbacks.
Okay. Well, that's a bit of a trip.
Yeah.
Near the Frostbacks.
I did it in a night.
Well, not all of us can go through.
Yes. Sorry.
It's okay.
Feet, right?
Feet are
on
a thing
boats.
that we need. Feet on boats on ground.
But songs of love and wishes for better.
Well, what you're saying is we have to go south to the Frostback to find this bright light, the song?
Yes.
Okay.
I knew you would understand.
Of course.
I think I will invite in 2 more, Harlan and Jovic, at the prospect of not only travel but song. And Rianne, I would like you to be having your meal nearby. Whatever conversation is about to happen, you hear it.
Yeah.
In fact, question: have they been here before at all? Like, would Farah and Lynn have even heard of them before? Like, maybe heard of them from
You'll
her
have heard
brother,
of
but-
Harlan because
Yeah.
Harlan and Darathan are aware of each other. So you are probably more familiar with Harlan than with Jovic. Not having been brought into the camp before, but you have encountered him when Darathan met up with Harlan. So you have an
Gotcha.
awareness of the elf.
Once the
mhm.
excitement of being heard
Uh-huh.
and understood from their brother, I think there's kind of a oh, oops. There's
Yes.
oh.
This is Harlan. I know you've probably heard me speak about them before. This is Jovic. He's a Durganlan.
Yes. And I think like there's even a kind of a like kind of runs up to y'all, but like a little stutter of just like stepping, just hi to both of you.
This is my sibling, Fern Lynn, and he kind of like puts an arm around them, and you see they're literally like the same person physically, like they
Yeah.
have the same face.
It's worth just noting as well, Jovic, you when you were introduced by Darathan, you heard the word Durganlin that you've not heard of it before. So you're like, happy to be here. Hope that wasn't an insult.
Hope that wasn't a slur.
And
I was going to address that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on.
yeah, I think Farah Lynn and the little excitement of just like new people and not in a woo-woo kind of way, but like stares around you a little bit, trying to feel who you are, and will like kind of just stare a little uncomfortably.
Sorry to. What did you say I am? Sorry.
Durganlan, Child of the Stone.
Ah, yes. That one I know.
That is what we call your people.
Ah, well, I won't say what we call you people, but it also has a word.
Jovic, we're gonna be nice.
Very nice to meet you all.
Gives him a little pat on the shoulder.
This is, like I said, Fern, my sibling. Speaking of songs, Nathalin, Harlan here is a bard.
Oh,
I'll give
songbird.
like a flourish and a bow.
Oh, pretty songbird. And just kind of like
Like a ruffle up his ruffling his feathers like a peacock. Like, oh, here you go.
Yeah.
Hello.
It's nice to meet you both.
Maybe it is
Pleasure.
fate that they come here with me tonight. If we are to speak of a possible trip south to the Frostbacks.
I
Traveling.
don't mind.
I have another. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Another tiny point. Both of you look like two balls in a nug sack. So you are very much the same. Is this by magic or by family?
Always such colorful language, Jovic. Always.
But I think Thurlin's actually like nodding, like, yes, we are close.
Two balls in a nutsack. Incredible.
We've been together a long time.
Yeah. We are twins.
Oh,
we're siblings.
Of course. Yes.
Family.
We don't really do that next to the sun because of the taint and stuff. So whenever we give two of the same, it's a party that lasts for at least 1 hour, which is a lot for us. Sorry. Go on. But very fine to meet you.
Farah and Lynn, I'm so sorry, you're about to get bombarded. Like, how does that work? What do you mean for an hour? And like, you just get started rattling questions at you. Yeah.
Sorry to break up the pleasantries are now over.
Hello,
Rian has noticed and has approached. However, you know when a cat approaches, but they're doing like a crab walk and they're like, yeah.
The back
sideways.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sideways,
yeah,
backs
yeah.
arched,
Yeah.
not happy. Not looking at the new arrivals at all, will just Anethera Mafalon, Anethera Mafalon. Hello, my friend. Hello, my friend. And then her eyes will just slide over the other two. First, obviously, Harlan, because it's easier for her eyeline, and then down, and then back up, and then down. What is this?
At
Prince.
Oh,
Dogalin.
sorry.
Yeah, I can see that. What are we doing here?
They
Answering
had
questions.
With an invitation?
Oh.
I was
And we'll just
invited.
point to her brother. Just-
I brought them here, Rian. I am going to go speak to the keeper about possibly their passions alongside our caravan, as they're also travelers. Though that favor might change slightly. They might not be here. Neither should we. Neither will we. Or will we? He looks to her to his siblings like, will we? I don't know yet.
Oh. And I think looks at Rion, and in the past they have definitely tried to explain to Rion how their brain works with the Fade and going back to the mortal world. I, I imagine there's going to be a bit of a like not standoffish between them, but kind of like there's no bridge here.
They
They're two
don't
very different.
contact the fate in the
Yeah.
same way.
Yeah.
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 A bittersweet love song to be recovered in the South.
One of ours.
And we'll start and start saying some of the words again, just crunchily, trying their best.
And
That
it's words
will.
that are recognizably Elven in that they follow similar patterns, but they are words that you do not know.
Oh. Well, that's got her attention.
I thought you would like it. Yes.
Like her eyes still keep going to the two strangers in a Dalish camp. But the curiosity about this Elven that she doesn't recognize is almost too much. So a little bit less of the angry cat and a little bit more of a curious cat.
Is this something that piques your interest?
Well, of course. The reclamation of our language is one of our priorities, is it not?
Yes,
And the reclamation of our songs and our stories, of course.
exactly. You know exactly what we mean then. So you wouldn't mind if I make the suggestion that our two guests come with us?
Didn't say that, but if
Uh-huh.
the keeper agrees, sure.
Hey, storyteller.
Yes.
If I could ask one quick mechanic question. I know this is not exactly a mechanic defined. Can I do some kind of magic roll and look at Harlan and just kind of see, I don't know, get an essence of who they
What's
are?
their vibe,
You
their
want a vibe
aura?
check?
Yeah, what's a vibe
Yeah.
check? Yes.
Can I vibe
But not
check
in the like
Harlan?
investigation way that's normal.
Yes. Yeah. It would
That's so
just be a
curious.
magic roll. Where are you, Farlin? Excuse me, I'm gonna flip your tab a second.
Yeah, take your time. Not that that's my character sheet and I can't say that, but that's okay.
Yeah. Just straight magic for this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
16.
Incredible. You open yourself up to your magic, which for you operates as like an extra sense almost. And just as you are looking over Harlan, I think what you feel is an excitement level rise in you, that you know that sensation that is your little friend.
So good.
Who perks because they feel a similar sense, a similar grounding in the emotion that they follow heavily, which is curiosity, and that he seems to sing the same song. And a song in the sense of the way that magic exists in the Fade. They recognize the notes.
Yay! And sorry to interrupt, but I think just with that, Farron will approach Rian and just kind of smile at Harlan a little bit away and just answers.
Mm-hmm.
They look for answers. Trying in a horrible way to try, like, not successful way, to convince Rian that they are also kind of a similar nature. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rian?
Not wrong.
Oh,
No, go ahead.
I will
pause.
just while you are doing this, I will just say to Arlen,
Yeah. Yes.
do you know this song?
I notice a lot of things.
No, do you know this song? Sorry.
The song.
Oh, do I know the song? No, I can't say that I know that particular melody, but it sounds interesting.
All right. You know so many songs. If you don't know this one, it's bound to be interesting.
True. I don't know every song, Jovik. We haven't traveled the entire world yet.
There is something in it, though, when it is being hummed by Farnlin. It's hard to describe, and yet I know many of us here will know it. There are certain songs and sounds that, for me, the storyteller, I know that the melodies and the tunes and the words connect to my heritage, right? So there's songs that are Scottish, or traditional Gaelic songs, or the songs that are traditional Irish songs. So I don't know if I can attest to this, that when people hear them, even if it is not your home, your people, your language, it feels like home. And that is the sensation that Harlan is getting when he hears that tune being hummed. There is something so familiar that your heart seems to react to it in a strange way, because it's not your culture or your people in a way that modern elves understand it, but they are still your people. You are still an elf.
I think Harlan, having that feeling, would be softly humming so that maybe Jovik is the one hearing him. He's matching the melody that Valentin was humming, but also harmonizing with it. Like he's playing with it.
Mm-hmm. And it is with that song in each of your hearts, and the prospect of travel, and the knowledge that, at the very least, you're going to need the permission of the keeper before you can go, and before Rian is going to accept you being there. But for now, we will pause our story, and we will pick this up in the second episode, everybody. So, if we can very briefly just let people know who you are, who you've been playing, and where we find you on the internet. You can go the same order that you did your introduction, so we start with Andre.
Okay, so I'm Andre. I have to get out of the voice now. I'm Andre. Him. I forgot to get that part out in the beginning. I'm playing Jovik, a dwarf. And people can find me on the internet if they stumble upon the same places that I usually go. I'm not really on the internet, I would say. That's all.
And yet here you are.
Yet here I am. I find my way onto the internet, I guess.
Hello, everyone. I'm Torin, or Torin Talks Creativity. I have been playing Farron Lynn. My pronouns are she, they. Farron's or they them. As far as where to find me, most likely will be on Twitch in some form or some way. Kind of live there. I'm a voice actor, and so you can find all my socials there if you want to see any of the audiobooks or stuff that I do, games, audio dramas, that kind of thing. Otherwise, I'm on Twitch doing my own content and playing games and doing art, and just, see where we go from there. I just chase creativity where I can find it. But yes,
Yay.
very lovely to have you. Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is Kay Phoenix, or Kay on the internet. I go by they them pronouns. I had the pleasure of playing our city elf bard Harlan, who goes by he him pronouns. You can see me here on the transmissions for the occasional game. I was just in a Mass Effect game that aired not too long ago. And you'll see me around. I'm on Blue Sky at Kay Phoenix. So yeah, I'll see you around.
Wonderful.
Hi everyone, my name is Satan or Alyssa Vamp Art, depending on where I am. Usually on Blue Sky, you can find me just kind of reposting stuff. But you can also find me here. I have been today Darathan, who uses he, him. I use any pronouns. You can find me on other shows on this channel. I do some of the art here, some of the overlays. And I nestle into this channel. It's my little home, my little cave. That's me.
And finally, I continue to be Afa. My pronouns are she, her, along with my character Rian's pronouns, also being she, her. You can find me on some parts of the internet just under my first name, Afa, A-Y-F-A. I'm mononymic. But other than that, I don't know. I'm usually wandering around and screaming about stuff somewhere. So you'll see me.
Yeah, wonderful. And I am Emma Hummel on the internet. I have been the storyteller of this fine story with these wonderful people. You can find me here mostly as one of the founders, and other places in the internet, telling stories and yapping. So, until next time, everybody, take care.